Alright, so just a very short video here. Sometimes when you start on a journey, it could be a journey for anything. You start to kind of take interest in something, and then you kind of progress and you progress and you progress. It could be cycling, for example, or it might be, in my case, it's kind of this personal transformation, spiritual growth journey that I've been on for the last few years. But you get a certain way down the line and you kind of look back and you kind of assume that some of the things you learnt early on are kind of just common knowledge now. But actually they're astonishing to people today as they were to you back then. So one of the first things, so this is kind of like Spiritual Growth 101, but one of the first things that was really astounding to me was the notion that thoughts aren't facts, right? So it's a kind of the first step. So I've kind of written down these 7 phases that I've been through before leading into a kind of transformation, if you like. But the first phase is this whole idea that thoughts aren't facts and you need to get out of your head. So for years, and it got worse and worse and worse, there's this raging torrent of kind of internal criticism going on in here, just like, you know, you're worthless, you're a loser, you're never going to amount to anything, you know, you're going to just continue to have this really miserable life because you can't make it work and you're no good. And what's the point of even trying? And it went on and on and on. And then I started to hear someone said, thoughts aren't facts. You know, what you're hearing in here isn't the truth, it's just something that's going on. And these thoughts, they're not you. So you need to get out of your head. And I was like, what the hell is going on? And people were kind of saying, I was reading about it, and people were saying you need to change your mental paradigm. And as soon as you start to change things up here, you start to affect your subconscious as well. So it all kind of trickles down and seeps through. And then one day I was in the shower and it was raging as it normally was, and I was kind of overwhelmed by this. And I just decided to stop thinking those thoughts. I decided to stop. And they stopped. Well, they didn't really stop, but they got much, much quieter. You know, and these thoughts, they're still there, but I just don't pay attention to them anymore. And the more you start to take your attention away from these negative thoughts by focusing on other things, that's what's so great about meditation. When you're focusing on your breathing, you're not focusing on what's going on up here. The more you take your attention away from them, the quieter they get. It's a bit like being bullied. You know, the more you respond to the bully, the more empowered the bully gets to keep bullying. And it's the same with these undermining, these thoughts, these sabotaging thoughts. The more you take your attention away from them, the less power they have over you, until finally you realise that you're not your thoughts, you're a witness to your thoughts. And when you realise that, you realise, I'm not just a witness to my thoughts, I'm not just a person standing here having thoughts, I'm a witness to someone who's witnessing themselves having their thoughts. So there you go. So that is the first step. That is like personal spiritual growth 101. Get out of your head. Thoughts aren't facts, and you don't have to let them do the driving. Seriously, because when you're letting these do the driving, you're not really here, you're not really present, and you're not able to take the steps to bring the changes to your own life. All right, I hope that's useful. That's one of the first things I learned when I kind of started to dig myself out of my terrible rut. And not long after that, my actual world around me started to change. Things started to get better. My actual circumstances started to get better. And it was a direct result of having worked on myself internally. So I hope that is useful. All right, cheers.